We're back this week for Akau TV, and we're joined by Akau Racing Manager Reese Trumper. Reese, a big team of trialists in today at Tauranga, and the team's been busy this week as well.
Hey, Hazy and viewers. Look, big team at Tauranga today. We had a big team at Matamata yesterday, and we've had a very busy week, but starting to settle down and get some of the yearlings through the stable and through the educational process, which is really exciting to see what horses we've got coming through for next season.
And a bit of wet weather about this weekend in the North Island. What can we expect on Saturday at Ellerslie?
Ellerslie track's genuinely quite firm now, so it should handle the rain really well. And it is good that they've got this new track for this reason, and no matter what, will be on a good surface.
And I guess just looking at the winners of last week, that was headlined by Imperatriz taking out the Group 1 William Reid Stakes at the Valley on Saturday. How's she come through the run, Reese, and where can we expect to see her next?
She's come through the run really well. Mark and Ben are absolutely thrilled with her. It looked like it was a place to be where she was in the running. We'd had no luck in the inside earlier on with Quintessa and Campionessa. So it was good to get her to the outside, and she really finished off strongly, and it was a great ride by Opie. So she heads to the TJ Smith Saturday week at Randwick, and some wonderful horses have won that race. Chautauqua, obviously Nature Strip, Black Caviar. It's a proper sprinting race, and if she could pull this one off, she certainly is the best around.
Absolutely. And you mentioned Quintessa and Campionessa. They were very honest performances. Quintessa only went down very narrowly there on the line to the other Kiwi who was placed in the Derby, and Campionessa was storming home late.
Yeah, both really big, genuine runs. Obviously more black type for their pedigrees, which is really going to help them. Campionessa was really stiff. Opie gave her a peach of a ride, but nowhere to go, and she really stormed home late. So she also, both of the mares actually head to Sydney for the 13th. There's the Queen of the Turf that Campionessa will run, and then Quintessa will obviously run in the Australian Oaks.
Excellent. And the other winners of the week locally, they're Riccarton Park, 2 winners, Nucleazor, and the I guess the find of the autumn, and Beau Brummel.
Nucleazor, great effort by the horse, half owned by David Peacock, who's been a long supporting owner of Akau Racing. So it was great to get another win for him, and he looks to be a very serious horse. Obviously, his full sister running a placing in the Oaks, heads to the Adelaide Oaks next start, or South Australian Oaks. So there's a lot to add to that pedigree yet, and he'll find himself in a stakes race down there on the 13th of April. And Beau Brummel obviously just keeps stepping up. It was a massive effort from a really tough draw too. He had to be really tough. He was up and amongst it early, but he kept up a really strong gallop.
And that was wrapped up for the Eagle Eye watchers out there on Sunday at Bairnsdale with the Cambridge stud-owned Hinata, who was a recent transfer from a Brisbane-based stable and won really well as well, Reese.
She did. Obviously, she was on the inside, and the jockey really had to come off heels, but she really exploded, and it's not easy to do on that track. But it was first start for the stable, and it was great to get another victory in those famous Cambridge stud colours.
And following on from, for those out there that are keen to keep an eye on the Australian runners over the weekend, there's a few dotted around the place. Rubicon Crossing goes around there at Cranbourne on Friday. At Starwell on Sunday, we've got Lord Dynastic in the Starwell Cup, and the Fortuna owned Fleet-Footed as well. And then, of course, we'll touch on Sands Duke, because I guess she's been in red hot form. She likes Flemington, and she's stepping up to a bit of a better grade there on Saturday, Reese. And listed company, what can we expect from her?
Obviously, it is a step up in grade yet again, but she's done everything right in her last 3 starts. Mickey D, the senior rider, gets on. That's got to be a bonus. We would have liked to have drawn out a bit more, but she is really explosive wherever she comes from. We just got to cuddle her up and give her one last crack at them, and that's what we'll be aiming to do. It is a step up, but she definitely deserves it, and she's right in the market.
Excellent. Well, let's cross to Ellerslie. We've just got the 5 runners, so it should be nice and quick this week, but we'll kick off in race number 1, the Entain NZB Insurance Pearl Series Final, rating 72 benchmark for fillies and mares. I Choose You, impressive winner last start down the line, draws barrier 2 there with Opie Bosanobu.
She's gone the right way since her good victory first up at Trentham. She didn't come up in the spring, but she's come back really well this autumn. Obviously, the 1,400 metres isn't ideal for her, or the 61 kgs, but it does have that Pearl Series bonus and nothing against the opposition. It didn't look that strong a race on paper, hence why we put in the late nom. She should sit just in behind the speed. She's been good enough to place at a Group 2 there as a 2-year-old, so she does like Ellerslie, and we are expecting her to run a really big race as long as she doesn't over-race or do anything silly.
And race 2 there, the Barfoot and Thompson 1400 3-year-old set weight and penalties. She turns heads down the bottom of the page, draws barrier 9 with Vinnie Colgan on board.
She's going really well. She hit the line really strongly over 1,200 metres last start at Tauranga. Step up the 1,400 will be ideal for her. The draw makes it a little difficult. We'll have to go back from that draw. She's the type of filly that needs cover. She's got a good turn of foot. Obviously, Vinny aboard. Opie just being a bit unwell, 55 kgs is a bit difficult when he's been a bit ill. But Vinny's been riding a lot of track work. He gets on with this mare really well, and we're expecting her to keep her consistent form up.
And race 5 there, the Fibre Fresh 1200 rating 75 benchmark. Here's a horse that I know you love to talk about. Pukatero comes into this race off the back of 2 trials.
She's come back in great order too. Her 2 trials have been really good. She's been hitting the line really strongly. Narinjan Palmer rides her a majority of her track work, and he's been absolutely thrilled with her. She's unbeaten fresh up. She's drawn a nice barrier. She'll land right there. Opie has a good record on the filly. Expect her to be right in the finish.
Race 6 there, the Group 1 on the card there, the NZEA New Zealand Thoroughbred Breeders' Stakes, weight for age for the fillies and mares over the mile. Fashion Shoot comes out of a really nice race last start where she was, I guess, nosed out Mustang Valley, who she competes with in this race on the line there. Draws barrier 9 with Opie Boston on board. Great
ride by Kelly last start. That's the way to ride her. Just ride her cold, have plenty of bums to follow and have one last crack at them, and that's what we did. The step up to a mile is a bit suspect, but there's plenty of speed on here with Belclair, Town Cry. They'll go reasonably good at tempo, which will set it up for a horse like Fashion Shoot, and you have Opie on. You always have to be confident in these Group 1 races.
Absolutely. Well, that wraps up the runners there for the weekend, Reece. Who's the stable's best of the weekend?
Pukatero will be very hard to beat.
I could have guessed that one, but good on you, Reece. And that wraps up proceedings for today. Next week, we head to Trentham for the Group 1 Sires Produce. Which 2-year-olds can we expect see line up in that?
So we have 2 lovely colts, Move to Strike and Unbridled Joy there, and the great filly, Captured by Love.
Excellent. And I guess, as you mentioned earlier, all eyes will be on Ramwick later on next Saturday in the Group 1 TJ Smith. So lots to look forward to over the next week. And have a happy and safe Easter, and we'll catch you again next week.
Rev up your racing excitement. Join Team Te Akau. It's easy, fun and affordable to be part of New Zealand's #1 stable, and we're now in Australia too. We've won more races, more group races and more prize money than any other stable, nearly $10 million in Australia and New Zealand alone. Imagine racing horses like Imperatriz, Campionessa. Whether you're a first-time owner or seasoned pro, at teakauracing.com, go the Tangerine.